And look what we got back in the mix. My man Darren Smith, KOKC, host of the ship, KOKC in Kansas City, covers the Kansas City Chiefs. And listen, we just made you an honorary Browns fan. Like you called me up yesterday, say G Bush. I was so happy. You know, the Browns is my second team. I gotta pull up on you. We gotta talk a little bit. Darren, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm a little salty though, man. I love that intro, man. I feel low key kind of embarrassed, man. I wish my show intro looked like yours, man.
Hey, listen, it's just it ages like a fine wine. So it took me a little time to get that, but you know what I'm saying. Listen, come on, brother, you stop playing. This guy does this all the time. He want to talk about these intros, bro. This dude, every time I've been wanting to get a clothing sponsor forever. He just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going, he hit me on a FaceTime. Yeah, I'm just in here just getting tailored for another suit. I'm like, this dude, bro, you know what?
Hey, real talk, I can't in front. I had to go pick up my new suit today for our Monday night game next week. So yeah, that day.
Patrick, you just hang out with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, with the house. I mean, listen. Okay, we got to get you. Is the Taylor Swift security that real? Have you had to go through extra metal detectors out there for Taylor?
No, because they know who I am and they know I don't play that.
Yeah, no extra pat downs for you, right?
I don't like the TSA pat downs as it is, so I'm definitely not gonna let some security guy just, frolic me without buying the booth. No, we good on.
Yeah, no first game for Darren out there. Darren, let's get to it, man. This was a game I think a lot of people needed, man, and especially Deshaun Watson. And then I came on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I was talking about this a little bit earlier. It's just like, after all the stuff he had been through. And let's not make it seem like he fought in a war or something, but he went through some personal adversity. It's a lot of people in the national media, from Brady Quinn to a lot of detractors, and it was a lot of local media and a lot of local guys and fans that was like, look, man, this ain't what we thought we was gonna get. You got the injury, he comes back, he plays a little bit better. And then you start off the game the way you did against the Baltimore Ravens, and a lot of people thought they was going to be up out of here. They was dead, and people was going crazy. In terms of what you saw in the second half and how he led his team to do what they do, what was it that you saw with Deshaun Watson that liked so much?
Well, the biggest thing is I want to first start back saying that mental health is real. I mean, you have to realize that he probably felt that he was back on track after the Tennessee game when he kind of balled, when he balled out to win. But because of the injury that he ended up suffering, that ended up, because the following week he played opening drive against the Colts and was like 1 for 5 and was, the very first pass he threw, hit the dirt, and I'm looking like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I remember you texted me. You said literally like, come on, man. This ain't it.
And so knowing that he couldn't play the rest of the game and then sitting out the next couple of games, you hear, as he said, you start hearing the detractors, the doubters, and, people questioning, because look, I'm human. Part of me was thinking like, come on, bro. I'm like, I need you to get out there on that field just so you can shut people up, because of all the talk. And so the fact that he was able to, and you got to remember, having that pick six on his first throw of the ball game, I'm sitting thinking like, damn, I'm like, I got the Browns win. I said, but man, I can't, I said, but don't make it harder for me. My bets or whatever. And so, but to be able to overcome that, keep the team into the ball game, and then of course you put yourself in position. Granted, I wish the kicker wouldn't have missed the extra point. So worst come to worst, you at least got overtime. But the fact that he was able to march that team down the field, put them in position, kick a game-winning field goal, I think in his mind mentally, now obviously he got beat up, but I think going further, I think that right there kind of unlocks something within Deshaun Watson that will help him with his confidence going further to where, he doesn't have to worry about whether or not he's back. He knows he's back because of what he was able to do against who he was able to do it against. And the fact that Lamar Jackson has yet to beat Deshaun Watson, whether in college or the pros, says a lot. Well, take that back because he did beat him in the first game that they played. So,
I guess they count that as DTR.
Okay, yeah, that was DTR. Yeah, so because of that, I think Cleveland finally has what they can feel is a franchise quarterback. That I think the other thing he knows is that because of how that defense played, and he was able to play all 4 quarters with the defense and the way he plays, he knows that he has the team that could possibly get him to the Super Bowl, at least AFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl.
I look at this situation and I think the thing that helped me out a little bit as well is the fact that he was able to do it under a little bit of duress. You can see on the screen and people talking about it, and we always say that. Look, a lot of cats was running around here talking about, hey man, this dude is he's cashing checks. He don't want to play. G. Bush, his arm ain't even hurt like that. There ain't even no micro tear. And then he comes out in this game, Darren, and he tweaks the ankle. And I'm like, man, this is about to be one of them games. I could just hear the people just going off, just doing extra. And I'm thinking like, man, I hope he's able to get back out of here and step his game up and come back out. He comes back out the second half. And not only comes back and plays, he's, I think he's 12 or 12, 13 or 13 or something like that. Leads a touchdown drive, had over 40, almost 50 yards on the ground as well. Like he did what he needed to do in crunch time. And people, now we can leave that noise alone. Anybody that's talking that noise, they can shut up, because at the end of the day, we've seen it. It's on full display. The guy was playing hurt. He had two things injured. And I threw out a theory earlier, and I don't know if you may where you come out on this, but sometimes as a player, when you got like a shoulder injury or injury, when you injure something else, it becomes the most pressing thing on your mind, right? So you just kind of almost forced to go out there and play on instincts. And you kind of saw him out there just revert back to some of his Clemson days. Like, go back to when they were playing Alabama and those rivalries there. Deshaun Watson always seemed to be banged up, had that knee brace on, but always found a way to make some plays, Darren.
Yeah, look, man, a lot of times I keep thinking to myself, how can you not have a better offensive line protecting him when he's taking these hits that he shouldn't be taking? I will say this, man. Look, I've been fortunate over the last 5, I guess, going on 6 years now, covering Patrick Mahomes, and that it's I've seen where he got his knee dislocated in the Denver Broncos game the year that they won the Super Bowl. He ended up having to sit out the rest of that game and the next game, but he wanted to come back in that game where that he had his knee dislocated. And it's like, if this dude, during the playoffs, he seems to never have an injury-free playoff run. And so, like last year when he hurt his ankle, dude came back in the ball game and played. So it's like, for me, when I see Mahomes being able to play with all these type of injuries and come back in and gut it out, yeah, I know Deshaun is that dog, and for me, I'd be like, man, you got to tough it out, bro. I'm like, whatever, because it's like, if you didn't have that squad, if you didn't have that defensive squad, I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have the players on you, that you can rock with and win with, I get it. But you got the number 1 ranked defense, man. I mean, you got players on offense that's willing to ride with you, bro. You got to tough it out. And so I'm glad he did, because it looked like he was even more hurt in that game than he let on. And so I know we saw footage of him, in the walking boot, but I think he was more injured, than the one was initially let on. But after a while, you get tired of hearing all the doubt and stuff. And so for him, this was the game for him to shut all doubters up, and at least for 1 week. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, listen, it came out, Deshaun Watson did have a X-ray MRI on that ankle. He did leave. Jason Lloyd talked about it a little bit, left out with the walking boot. And you mentioned Patrick Mahomes, and I watched the quarterback, the little documentary, and you had a nice cameo in there. I was just so, when he twisted his ankle, turned his ankle, and Andy Reid was like, yeah, I'm going to take you out. He's like, no, No, yeah, like somebody said, we're gonna sell your firstborn child. No, you ain't taking me out of here. And so I was happy to see Deshaun come back in that game too.
Well, and look, man, and here's the thing, and just one last thing on Mahomes is that, granted, that happened in the division round, and we had the championship game coming up against Cincinnati. He literally stayed in the training room to get his ankle worked on 24/7 that whole week to make sure he was prepared to go against Cincinnati. I mean, that's how bad he wanted to play, and that's how bad that the Chiefs needed him to play. So, like I said, I mean, I know the situation is a little bit different because it isn't in the middle of the season for Deshaun Watson, but again, that's the type of toughness that that we kind of deal with here. And again, I know Deshaun is a dude. Now, if he can throw the football, he can't throw the football, and because he can't throw the football, that's that has an adverse effect on his game and the passing game and in the game, for the Cleveland Browns to try to win. So again, overall, I'm glad that, like I said, at least for 1 week, he was able to shut the haters up because trust and believe, when I posted post game about about the Browns winning and my upcoming prediction is still on track for a Browns Chief AFC Championship game. Trust me, I get a lot of haters. You doing this for this rapist, this and that. Look, man ain't been convicted of nothing. You can hate the man if you want to, but I deal in facts, and so.
And you've never won. You've never been one to back down from what you say. You 10 toes down on what you talk about, so you ain't gonna change his mind.